What is up, Ravens flock? Huge shout out for your support for the 410 Sports Talk. James and Glenn are the best in the business. They're killing it right now. They love talking Raven talk. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel. Let's go Ravens. Big trust.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. James Haskell, Glenn Martin, and we are excited to get into it when it comes to the AFC North. Probably one of the most entertaining divisions in all of football, along with the NFC West, also very entertaining division, and some other ones, but certainly we are biased towards the AFC North. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about the remaining games ahead for each team in this conference, because honestly, every team has a mathematical possibility and a decent likelihood of coming away with the crown. So we're going to get into it. And so we're going to get into the likelihood, and then we're going to give you our predictions for the outcomes for the rest of the season for each team. But before we break all that down, guys, do us a favor, do yourselves a favor. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, because then you stay update with us on all your Ravens news, all of our opinions and takes, and all that we hear through the wire and our
connections.
Unnamed, yeah, that's right, our unnamed sources. So do yourself a favor, do us a favor, and hit the subscribe button. But Glenn, where should we start in this trip around the AFC North?
Well, I'm going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the reason I'm going to start there is not because I like the Steelers. It's because I look at the Steelers as the lowest threat to the Ravens' chances of winning the AFC North. So that's why I'm going to start with them. And maybe that's just perception because we haven't even gotten into it yet. But yeah, so that's where we're going to begin. So this upcoming Sunday, they take on the Tennessee Titans at home, a Tennessee Titans team that is still without Derrick Henry, but still finding ways to get the job done. Still, they got Julio Jones back off the IR. They're still without AJ Brown, but the Tennessee Titans are playing some good football right now. So what do you think happens this Sunday? Do you think the Steelers take the Titans out, or how's it end?
No, I mean, I have no faith in the Steelers.
Okay, so you think the Titans
even though they
win that
beat
game?
us, and I know that sounds salty, like just seeing what happened. What was that? Who did they just?
Thursday.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but who did they basically didn't play football until the fourth quarter. Oh,
Vikings.
why am I the Vikings? My gosh. I knew it was another team in purple.
Well, Jefferson dropped a bunch of footballs in that game. It should have been a blowout, but
yeah, so seeing that made me think that any healthy team, well, any competent team, which is just saying the Ravens aren't competent, but like they should lose in pretty much any matchup is my point.
Okay, well, so then I guess their following game after the day after Christmas at Kansas City, you don't give them much of a shot there either, right?
About as much of a shot as
you got to come up with something good.
A snowball's shot in hell, right? Isn't that how it goes? Like
yeah. Snowballs.
Right. I was trying to relate it to Christmas. I was going to say something about Santa, but
and you went to hell. Okay.
No,
way to tie things back to the Christmas spirit. You went to hell.
Okay, remember when Michael? Right. Hold on, remember? I just saw say. Remember when Michael was like, what's his name? Oh my gosh, Stanley got the scented candles for Christmas, and he was like, "Well, that's gonna work perfectly for you because there's a lot of fire where you're headed, Stanley. Adultery's a sin."
Office reference there for the fans. All right, so you think 0-2, Tennessee, Kansas City, both losses. Then they play Monday night against Cleveland at home. That game, you know what? I'm going to give them the win because they always seem to beat. Yeah, they always seem to beat Cleveland no matter what.
Ben's farewell gift to the Cleveland fans.
Yes, exactly. Goodbye, Cleveland. And here's this final L that I hand your Browns. And then they end the year at Baltimore, taking on your Ravens in his final appearance in M&T Bank Stadium,
and probably in his professional career.
And let's just call it what it was. That game should have been over. I feel like the Ravens should have won that game. So I think the Ravens win that game at home and it could be the game where they win and they keep going, or they lose and they go home. So I'm going to say that the Steelers go 1-3 down the stretch.
Me too. Yep.
But at best, I say 1-3 is my prediction, but at best I could see them going 2-2.
Yeah. So what would that leave them at?
So that right now they're at
5-7.
Yeah, they're at 5 and no. Hold on. Let me pull up. I should have already had this up, but
Yeah, that's why I was depending on you. This is
how
what
did I have
get.
all their schedules up, but not the standings? I'm a genius. That's how. So right now, the Ravens still leading the way. But yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 6-6-1, so they don't have a
6,
losing
6, and 1, yeah.
record because of that tie. But yeah, so
So then
that'll
they
put
would
them
8-1, right?
if they go 2-2. But if they go
Right.
1-3, they're going to be 7-9-1.
Yeah, so that's how I think it ends up, 7-9-1.
And I tend to agree with you, and that's not going to be good enough to win the division. All right, let's move on then. Let's talk the Cleveland Browns, who, of course, are coming off their win over the Baltimore Ravens at home. And then let's see.
Browns.
Yeah, big win. Now they have the Las Vegas Raiders, who absolutely got destroyed. First of all, when are teams going to stop giving added motivation to the other team? They go out and they dance on the logo of the Kansas City Chiefs and get their doors absolutely blown off. I mean, silly. So I got to give the Browns. Look, I wouldn't be shocked to see Vegas beat them, but the state of the team in Vegas right now, they're a disaster. So I'm going to give them the win. I'm going to give the Browns the win. I know you may not agree with me there, Jimbo. And I could certainly go either direction, but right now I'm going to say the Browns beat the Las Vegas Raiders. This
Saturday.
No,
I can't disagree with you. They're a dumpster fire from a personnel standpoint, and so they have nothing left. They're ready for the holidays, and then they're ready for vacation. So who do they have after that?
Then they got to go at Green Bay. They got to go to Lambeau and take on Aaron Rodgers.
Take that one off as a loss.
Yeah, that's a huge loss.
They have another Bengals game left, right? Is that the next one after that?
No, not after that. They got to go at Pittsburgh on that Monday night game, like we were mentioning
and then
earlier.
We called that a win for
the Steelers.
So we're saying 3 losses? So we're
saying one. Yeah, we're saying. Well, I'm saying they beat Vegas and they lose to Green Bay and lose to Pittsburgh.
1-2 thus far. Okay.
And then at home against the Bengals in a huge matchup.
Yeah, I think they win.
You think they beat the Bengals?
Yep, I do.
So you think they go 2-2 down the stretch? I think they go 1-3. I don't think they beat the Bengals.
Gotcha.
So for that reason, okay, all right. So let's say if they do go 2-2, which is how you're predicting, then they'll finish the year 9-8. 9-8 for the Bengals. Okay, and we got the Steelers going 7-9-1.
9-8, man, they must be great.
I guess so. Hey, it's not a losing record. So I guess shout out to them for that. And then lastly, we're going to stop by the Cincinnati Bengals and see who they have. So first of all, they have at the Denver Broncos, who have played well in spurts after they traded away Von Miller. Man, that's a tough one. I think I'm going to go.
Where I'm going here?
Yeah, tell me where you're going.
W for the Broncos.
Really?
Yep, I think the emotion of DT 88 going to the place of rest, and their ability to run the football.
They can run it. They got a two-headed monster.
Hurt Cincinnati, and I think they find a way to pull this one out. Teddy's not turning it over right now, so I'm actually going with a win here for Denver. And you're going with a loss, or you're going with a win for Cincy, right?
Man, I don't know. I'm kind of torn because it's on the road. If this was at home, I would say it's a win. You know what? I'm going to say a win because I think it's a close matchup, and you're picking loss. So I'm going to say win. The next game they have day after Christmas at home against Baltimore after kind of handling the Ravens the first matchup. Although a lot of people forget that the Ravens did have a third quarter lead at one point before getting their doors blown off and losing ultimately 41-17. What happens in that game, Jimbo?
I think the Ravens split. They find a way to split with the Bengals.
Okay.
And so I just think it simply comes down to that, where this division is so neck and neck, no matter what the condition of the teams are. I don't see a world where we get swept by the Bengals. I might be crazy. And there's a lot of reasons to argue with me, and I get it. But I think we find a way to split with the Bengals. I think it goes. So another loss for the Bengals. What I have them at right now?
You got me 0-2.
0-2, right? Because let's see, the first one, Broncos, then the Ravens. Okay.
And I hate to do it, but I gotta put them at 2-0. I think they beat Baltimore. I think they, I look at what was it Hendrickson did in that first matchup, and as well as there was another guy that got 2 sacks in that game. I'm blanking on his name, but they were harassing the quarterback in that game, and right now our offensive line doesn't give me a whole lot of hope that anything's going to be different, especially when you add in the injuries to Ricard and Nick Boyle. It looks pretty grim there. So I got to say 2-0, although I hope I'm definitely wrong. And then their next game at home against Kansas City. And the way Kansas City's playing defensively, man, if that offense gets even close to what they're capable of being like, man, Kansas City could be right back where they've been.
This is, to me, this is the head scratcher of the Bengals. I'm going to take a Bengals W on this one.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because they're that team this year, immature team, young, up and coming, not relatively consistent. I mean, we see what they did to the Ravens, they lose to the Jets. Like, that's the Bengals this year. And they've got the firepower to play with anyone.
Okay. All right. Hey, I mean, I hope actually no, I hope you're wrong about that one, Jimbo.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna say they lose to Kansas City. So I got them right now 2-1, and you have them 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in surprising fashion here. And then they got to go at Cleveland to end the year, taking on a Browns team that at that point that could be win or go home for both of these teams. I mean, all these teams are going to be win or go home likely going into that last week. Maybe not the Steelers.
Because they're already going home.
Yeah, because they're already at that point I think you're going to have a fork in them. But I think they beat Cleveland. I think they go 3-1 down the stretch, and that's why I'm ultimately very concerned. So you have them. How do they finish out? You got them losing.
Yeah, because I already said they're going to lose to the Baker Mayfield only lights up the Bengals.
Man, so if you're right, because currently they're 7-6. If you're right, they're going to be 8-9 to finish the year, and if I'm correct, they're going to be 10-7.
Man, isn't that funny that I picked every one of these teams to go 1-3? I'm such a homer. Oh, this is bad.
You did pick them all.
But yes, I know it's not in very traditional fashion like you're mentioning, but the Bengals have been so much of this year. Yeah. They've been such a conundrum, right? Like so hard to, if I was a gambler, I would not gamble using the Bengals as my leverage. Like I would not gamble on the Bengals because you just don't know who they're going to be. But in the Kansas City game, I think they have that firepower and they can keep up with them. But look, December football, it's tough for the Bengals. They don't even have an indoor facility.
That's true. Actually, I think that was the case, but I think they may have fixed that.
So they got one of those tents, like it's one of those plastic tents that the restaurants use during COVID. Is that what they got?
The pavilion.
Yeah, exactly. So and they got like the heaters on the inside. They're like real loud and good job.
I mean, man, I got them going 10-7. I hope you're right because you got them going 8-9, and I really hope you're right. But all right, let's move on to the Ravens and see how they have to finish. Because
newsflash, I don't got the Ravens going too much better.
Well, they got Green Bay. I'm interested to see what your thoughts are on this first game.
Should I? I've never picked the Ravens to lose, Glenn.
Are you about to?
You're
so beat up.
I can't.
At home.
I can't. I literally can't.
Can't do it.
Fine. But you know what? I will do it for the sake of this record. But my official prediction in our pregame, you can know now I'm picking the Ravens to win. But in this, because this is what I think. Let me explain. I think we're going to go 2-2. I think we're going to split. I don't know what those 2-2 are going to be.
Well, then how can you say that?
But right now, I'm guessing that one of the losses as of Tuesday will be the Packers. I have the right to change my prediction on Friday.
New information certainly may be available for you to change.
That's right. The status of number 8 could change. So, yes, I'll take an L for the Ravens on this one. I'm assuming you're doing the same?
Yeah, I got to take an L. I mean, look, would I be stunned if the Ravens won? No. I mean, it's a home game. Green Bay could fall apart in this game as far as defensively if they I could see a scenario, but I mean, I just look at Aaron Rodgers versus this secondary. Yeah. And they got a two-headed monster at running back where they can certainly do it. They can beat you, through the air or on the ground. So I can't pick them. I can't pick the Ravens to win.
That was, what you just did to me? That was like a Mike Tyson body shot. To my
just bringing up Aaron Rodgers. You know he was there, but just hearing it.
Gee, so is. All right, who we got after that? After that, it's the Bengals game, right?
Yep, at Cincinnati.
Yeah, so I already have us winning that one. I think we split it. What about you? Oh, you picked them. You picked us to lose.
Us to lose. I'm so disappointed because that would mean 4 in a row.
Man, you're losing fans in droves, bro.
Dude, I hope I'm wrong. I'm just trying to think look, Cincinnati just they look pretty good right now, and like we mentioned when we play them, they're a relatively healthy team in comparison to most of the teams in the NFL.
And that's what it's all about a lot of times down the stretch, right? It's just, a matter of health.
Yep, absolutely. And then this next one, Week 17, at home against the LA Rams, who just had a huge win over the Cardinals last night. How's that go, Jimbo?
Yeah, I think we lose this one.
Dang. Okay.
It's going to be, you know what? And I was going to say I'm picking us to win 2 road games, but no, we play the Steelers at home as well. So, yeah, I think we lose this one as well. On health, I think if we got a healthy roster, I think we beat the pants off the Rams, to be honest with you. I don't think that – and they struggled with Kyler Murray running the football, so that is one bright spot. If Lamar gets out there and starts running, they might struggle again. So one thing –
I think they won last game without Ramsey. I think he was on the COVID list.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive the way they won that. LA has to come all the way over here. And they've had some stinkers this year, Jimbo. I think the Ravens surprise a lot of people, and they beat the Rams that day. Yeah, I do. I think that they know about Odell Beckham. They know what makes him tick. They know also what slows him down. So I don't think he'll be Cooper Kupp's got me a little worried. I mean, I think he would
just
be
a little worried.
He's going to be
use a different word.
He's going to be a whole lot to handle for Anthony Averett that day, and Westry. He's going to put Westry in the spin cycle, But I do think we slow down their run game, and that's why I think the Ravens win that game. The Rams, when they get too pass happy and when they get away from their run game, that's when they get caught. And I think the Ravens are still a very, very good, if not the best run defense in the league, especially if they tackle like they should. And right now, if I'm not mistaken, they are the number 1 rated run defense. So I think they shut down the run. The travel obviously impacts the Rams, and for that reason, I got the Ravens getting off their 4-game slide and beating the Rams.
All right. I mean, I can't be mad at it. Okay, last game of the season, Steelers.
Pittsburgh, Big Ben.
Yeah, I'm going W here. I'm going a convincing W. I think we send Ben off with his head hanging down, but also a little bit of relief that his days of suffering, physical ailments are over. And he can get back to sitting on the couch, drinking booze and riding around a golf cart, hunting and golfing. Like, that's what he likes to do. That's okay. To each his own. He's made plenty of money to do that, but certainly I don't envision him pulling a Marshall Yonda or a Joe Thomas. I mean, that's definitely won't be the case.
Just immediately dropping 80 pounds.
Yeah, maybe more of a Jerome Bettis is I think what we'll end up seeing. But so I think we beat Big Ben and the Steelers and send him off right.
100%. I got to agree. There's no way the Ravens don't beat them, knowing what that game could mean for them this year, as well as the legacy. These teams. John Harbaugh has been a big part of this rivalry, and he knows what that means. And I don't think he wants. And Ravens fans don't want to see Big Ben's final game being a win in M&T Bank Stadium. Can't let that happen. So, with that said, we both came to 2-2. And that puts the Ravens at 10-7, which would tie the Cincinnati Bengals. But of course, the Cincinnati Bengals have been far better in the division this season than the Ravens, so they would win because, well, actually, if I predict correctly, they'll win just off head-to-head matchups because they have the 2-0. But if you predict correctly, they'll win off division. So either way, they're going to win the North if our predictions hold true. But at 10-7, Jimmy. Is that good enough to secure one of the 3 wild card spots?
I think so.
Okay.
Except our division record does concern me because I know that's obviously a factor in that, even outside the division, right? When you're coming to wild cards, you get to overall record and like division, conference, stuff like that, whatever.
We don't be 2-4, even if beating the Steelers. Be 2-4 if I get it right.
Right.
That's 3-3 if you
and
predict.
That's still not great. I mean, that's still not good. So yeah, I'm gonna say yes right now. What about you?
I think it's good enough to make one of the wild card position. And then once you're in, you don't know what could happen. So
that's right.
That's all that matters is they get in the dance. I don't think the Ravens are, they're not foreign to going on the road in the playoffs and winning. I mean, John Harbaugh, no coach has done it better. winning road
He's a
games in the
tough out.
playoffs, exactly, than John Harbaugh. So
He's a
no
tough
team
out.
would want to see this Ravens team pulling up to their stadium in
Yep.
the playoffs, led by John
And,
Harbaugh.
and look,
So
let me just say this. I think that the reason we go 2-2, and my prediction, the other ones go 1-3. The edge is you mentioned it. We have the best run defense. As beat up as we are, we have an incredible run defense, and we have the best special teams unit in the NFL. In December, when it's cold in the AFC North, here in Baltimore, a lot of close games, 3-point games where you can deploy a guy like Justin Tucker and you can stop the run. I think we win a game or two that we shouldn't have won otherwise because of those two factors.
yeah.
So I'm going to roll with that. And I wouldn't say that if Lamar's healthy and the roster's healthy, I think it'd be much more convincing, but that's not where we're at right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we both think the Ravens get in. It's just it might have to be, unfortunately, via the wild card route, which is, look, the Ravens won a Super Bowl doing the wild card route. So it's not like this is something that can't be done. And in fact, over the last 10 years, I'd love to see the record of wild card teams and, how many times they won the Super Bowl, because I think, back in
the Giants did it twice.
Yeah, about 30 years ago, it was never the case. The wild card team always got bounced early. But nowadays, it's certainly a little bit different, because it's not who was hot all season. It's who got hot at the right time. And so if the Ravens can catch fire down the stretch, who knows what could happen. But let us know what you guys think. How does this AFC North shake out? Do the Ravens do you still think the Ravens have the insider's edge to win the North, or do you think their playoff path is through the wild card spot? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments below, and we will talk soon.